Good evening, folks, and welcome to episode 33 of the Monday Weekend Wrap-Up. If you're watching on Twitch, you know more than the people that are watching on YouTube about this very moment. But in solidarity of my manager, Erik ten Hag, possibly the GOAT manager in the world, I will be doing this entire show with one collar out of my sweater, because that is the style of our GOAT manager. Now, we had a very eventful weekend. A lot of things to talk about. Two big derbies. We had the North London derby and also the Manchester derby. But I think that's what we're going to be talking about a lot tonight. So without any further ado, let's get to our guests for this evening. Joining us from Columbus, Ohio, we have Mr. HoffSpur. Hoff, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. Also joining us from Portland in the Pacific Northwest, we have Mr. Mykal87. Michael, how are you?
Good. Hope everybody's doing well. Happiness and health to everybody out there. Thanks for having me again.
Absolutely. And last, but certainly not least, we have a very special guest joining us today from Vancouver, Canada. We have Mr. Milothe1st. Milo, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. I'm doing very well today. It has to be said.
I'm loving the getup. I'm loving it.
I will tell you this in all fairness to Hoff. I will be removing the scarf fairly soon because it's bloody bacon in here.
You know, I was thinking the same thing with this goddamn sweater. It's warm in here, man. I got to do the Ten Hag collar, you know? It was pissing me off the whole game, to be honest. But how you guys doing?
No complaints.
Very good.
Very good.
Very good, yeah.
Not bad.
Michael, 87. What's the 87 your year of birth or something else?
No. So when I was in middle school, I needed a number, and it just happened to be the number that I picked based on if you're a football fan, it was Christian McCaffrey.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Was one of my favorite receivers.
Titans?
Watching him.
No,
Broncos.
Broncos.
Yep. And so I picked him and just kind of always stuck with it through hockey, football, everything. So
nice. I wondered if it was a Sidney Crosby reference.
Oh God, no!
Sidney Crosby.
Hurt my soul with that one.
What were other 87s? And was Shannon Sharp 80? No, Shannon Sharp was 88, I think.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
And 84, I believe, as well.
Wrong football though.
Yeah, there's no important 87s in the proper football. So
yeah, I don't think so. Is there?
I wear 81 for everything. Always 81.
I'm sure someone in Serie A probably wears 87 because they go crazy with their numbers.
Yeah. I know. Was it La Liga? You can't even have that. Like they only have 25 proper numbers or something like that.
I think.
Is that how it is? Okay.
Yeah, like that's why they couldn't retire Lionel Messi's jerseys because it would basically limit Barcelona to not having a full roster. Something weird, some weird thing like that.
They did. I think didn't John Terry's numbers occupied by Koulibaly. Have they? Do they retire numbers in England? Is that a thing?
Nah, not really.
No.
No,
I think that's an American thing.
Did they retire the shirt but not the number? Is that kind of like a weird counter thing? Like
there's no, you won't see any like shirts hanging from the rafters in a stadium.
Right.
Stuff like that. You might see like silhouettes, maybe of a player or something, but it's definitely not. Yeah, statues outside the ground. It's definitely not a retired jersey kind of thing.
Nice. Well, Milo, since you have the scarf on your head now, I think we should talk about the North London derby, so you can, we can talk about it while it's on your head.
Yeah. So I mean, it's up to you. If you don't like it, you could always drag that on till the end, and I'll just be sweating the whole time.
No, I won't do that to you. But yeah, let's talk North London derby. 3-1 Arsenal win. Milo, just go ahead, man. Go for it. This is your moment.
It's my boat. Yeah, look, I don't want to, you know, clearly I don't want to get too carried away. But no, I mean, it was a great result for us. Another test pass. That's the way I look at it. Like, it was another test. We didn't pass the one at Old Trafford. I feel like a North London derby against a Tottenham side that's much lauded by the media and Tottenham fans. All last week, all I was reading, and you know how much I hate Twitter, but all I was reading about was how we're going to get beat and how this and how that. And it just gave me quite the sense of satisfaction that we won this weekend. And I think people are doubting Arsenal less and less and less. You know what I mean? Like, they're waiting for that moment, and it might come. It might well come. I mean, next up is Liverpool. We got a busy October. It's something to think about. I'm definitely, you know, looking at that fixture pile up and thinking it's unrealistic to think we'll win every game. But anyway, on to the game itself. The opener, I thought, was one of those great North London derby goals. We've seen many players over the years come up with a moment like that. You know, we won't get into the player himself and the personal stuff right now, but I don't think it's relevant to the game itself. So, I mean, he scored a banger, and it was a really nice goal, to be fair.
Great
penalty
goal. Great goal.
Yeah, the penalty for Tottenham, I mean, I think Richarlison made sure, but also, you know, I didn't argue when it was given. I wasn't arguing that one. And when, you know Kane's going to score it, I've said it before, I think he's probably the best penalty taker I've seen in the Premier League since Alan Shearer, I would argue. If Kane gets a penalty, my money is always going to be on him to score. So he scored 7 penalties against Arsenal, which is a crazy stat. Some of those, looking back, some of them I don't think were pens. You know, so there were some controversial incidents in there as well. But yeah, I mean, he's a set piece man, isn't he, these days? I don't know. Maybe Hoff will get into it a little bit, and I don't know if it frustrates him that Kane doesn't score so much from open play these days. But anyway, it is what it is. The red card for Emerson Royale, from me, the more I look at it, the more I agree that it was a red. At the time, I was like, I was kind of on the fence. But then I've seen replays with the reverse angle several times, and there's one angle in particular that really, for me, is the nail in the coffin, and it's more or less what the ref had to look at. Yeah. He had the same kind of view, and it's all about studs up with force into the ankle. And Eduardo, you know, his career was ruined by a similar challenge. Abu Dhabi as well. I mean, Aaron Ramsey's was a little bit different, but you know, it's the same kind of thing. It's tackles, studs up with force into that area. If the foot is planted in the turf, that's a broken ankle. That's the bottom line. And I think that was the reason. After that, I mean, I think Cartwheel, you said, sorry to drag on, guys.
No,
Cartwheel, we got a longer show tonight.
We got a long show tonight, guys.
Yeah. Cartwheel said he thought that after the red card, it was game over. I think Arsenal showed enough in the first half to say that I'm fairly confident we would have gone on to win that game anyway. However, it definitely didn't hurt us. And I mean, like, after that, the goal from Jesus was obviously a bit scrappy and fortunate, but the goal from Xhaka, I thought he redeemed himself because he gave the ball away that led to the penalty right in our area. So Xhaka kind of redeemed himself, and he's having a great season, probably his best season in an Arsenal shirt. And great win, 3 points, stay top of the league for whatever that's worth at this stage. Far too early to even talk about it, but I mean, you know, obviously I'm really happy with how the season started. Still.
Yeah, it was a good game. I thought in the first half was, when it was 11v11, I thought it was a fun game. I thought it was good. You know, Tottenham playing that defensive style, Arsenal playing their passing style. You know, at any moment with with Richarlison, Son, and Kane, anything can happen. But so from the other side, Hoff, what are your thoughts on that derby?
So, in the first half, I didn't think we played terribly. But in the final third, there was just some poor, I should probably call it poor decision making, like in final, like that killer pass that leads to a goal. There were a couple times that was there, and either the wrong ball was played or it was overhit. So just some fine margins there. And the way that Conte is set up, you can't really afford to miss those. Like, up until this point, efficiency has been like the hallmark of our team. And like, if you miss chances, it's not good. I thought we really missed Kulusevski. I know that Richarlison he's in really good form, but I feel like Kulusevski would have brought something a little different to that. Then I've been thinking about it since Saturday. Not that it matters, he was hurt, but if I would have played him for Son or Richarlison, probably Richarlison. Just because Son's coming off that hat trick that he had against Leicester, and he's coming off of two pretty nice goals for Korea. And Richarlison scored for Brazil as well. So I don't know. It's a tough decision. That's why Conte gets paid the big bucks. Yeah, the red card. It was a red card for stupidity more than anything. In your own half, away. He's not even facing the attack, and he just takes him out. It was dumb. Like, I looked up, I saw the foul. I was like, oh, it's a foul. And I looked down, and I look back up, and I see Emerson going off, and I'm like, what? Oh, okay. I didn't. Then on the replays, I'm like, oh yeah, it's stupid. It was so dumb.
Stupid. It was so
like,
stupid.
there is no need for that. And just so Saturday, I think it was Thursday or Friday, I'm reading all of these articles about how Emerson spent like £1 million on hyperbaric chambers and cryo chambers, and how he's trying to improve. He hired a professional scout to get a scouting report of Hakimi, which is great. If he ends up being like Hakimi, that's money well spent. But the next thing he does is get sent off in the North London Derby, and it's just kind of frustrating. So I admire like where his heart is at, but his mind has to get there a little bit. And he's still young. Like, I know he doesn't look super young. He's kind of like Greg Oden. But
Greg Oden.
But he's only like 23.
He's 23?
So yeah.
I was just about to ask you that. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, he's 23. So he still has like he has most of his career in front of him. I think he can grow from this. Hopefully he does. But right now I think is the time to try Jed Spence, maybe, against Frankfurt tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't know if Conte will. He's been kind of on the fence, but whatever.
Emerson will be eligible against Frankfurt, though, right?
That's true.
So he'll probably next week, right? Who do you guys play next week?
It's Brighton away.
Ooh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not easy.
No, Brighton are looking good. Excuse me.
They'll be on fresh legs too.
Yeah.
Just on that, on Emerson spending money outside. I know I always talk about this in the past, and I'm going to talk about it now, again. And that's Marcus Rashford, right? You hear about extracurricular activities. You want to hear that. You want to hear Emerson is paying $1 million to a trainer, and he's getting scout reports from Vinicius Jr. or something. I don't know who Marcus would try to emulate, but like, that's the type of stuff you want to hear about off the pitch about footballers. I mean, doing charity work and stuff like that in the local area, it's fine if you're, local hero or whatever. I don't know. I don't want to see on Time magazine. I don't know. Wait, that's another little thing there. On the Lloris error, was it a really good shot? Was it a poor save? Was it a bit of both? What do you think?
I think
goalkeepers
it was
are
bad. Because he's good for those, maybe like 1 to 3 of those a season, where he just has like a what the hell just happened moment. And that one, I can't remember the defender. I think it was Romero. It came off of him, and as he was coming back down, it just got under him. So it was not completely his fault, but also he deflected it right into him. So I feel like he could have maybe directed the rebound a little better, because he is a good shot stopper. But I feel like he could have done better on that.
There we go.
I have a question for you, Hoff.
Okay.
Do you rate Eric Dyer as a center back?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think in a 3, I think he's really good in a 3. If he's in a 2, if he's one of a 2, I don't think he's as good. But I think in a 3, I think his best trait for me is his organization, not necessarily his physical skills, but he can organize the defense pretty well, I feel like. It also helps that he speaks like 7 or 8 languages. But yeah, and he reminds me of Toby Alderweireld a little bit, because he can play that long pinged pass as well. He's not exactly the same, but he's similar enough for me. Yeah,
big praise.
I like him. And I think under Conte, he's been a lot better. He was good under Poch for like a season and a half. Then he kind of tailed off and somehow ended up in the doghouse. I don't know how that happened. And then it was, I mean, when you're trying to break up Alderweireld and Vertonghen, Belgium's first choice pairing, that's going to be hard to do. But yeah, I think under Conte, he's gotten a new lease on his career, and hopefully I would love to see him in the England squad, because I think he adds something that a lot of English center backs don't have, especially if Southgate wants to play a back 3.
From an England fan perspective, I do not want Dyer to be one of the centre backs for England.
Okay.
Like I'm just throwing that out there. But at the same, I get, you know, when did he make this move to centre back?
It had to be when it was towards the end of Pochettino, because he was brought in as a holding mid.
Yeah.
During that
He
time,
played his first two games were at right back.
I think he moved there under Poch when not Alderweireld, Vertonghen got his injury, and they had to fill that role.
Yeah, and he had always been there, but that's when that became his position pretty much. Yeah, under Poch, and then,
interesting.
Yep.
Which probably why
he
he's
was
so
kind
good
of
on the
similar
ball.
to Poch a little bit in that versatility.
Maybe I could take it back, because the only thing I will say is my centre backs for England, I want them to be centre backs that are starting for their club week in, week out. I don't. That's not a pop at Harry Maguire, by the way. But
it's easy.
It sounds like one. It sounds like one, but
that's low-hanging fruit right there.
It sounded like a pop at him, you know. I'm just saying.
Hey, he didn't concede 6 to City. So.
Yeah, that's true.
He's clean. No. Hoff, what do you think about your style of play, though? A lot of people are, you know, that's a big talk of the town, you know, this negative, boring, quote unquote anti-football. How long, you know, do you think that adds to the pressure on Conte at any point? This frustration of fans, if you guys are playing, you know, open football, like, do you think that changes, you know, the manner of defeat changes things?
I don't think it does a whole lot. It might a little bit, because I for some unknown reason, I like to, I guess, doom scroll Twitter, and and there are more than a few Spurs fans that are like, "Oh, Conte's so boring. We don't need." I'm like, yes, we right now at this point in time, this club needs Conte, and it's, I mean, as best I can tell, just remembering and watching his Chelsea team that won the title, it's a carbon copy style-wise. Player-wise, obviously it's not. We don't have an Eden Hazard. We don't have an N'Golo Kante. Like, if just those two players alone are enough to elevate you, like what they did that Chelsea team was ridiculous. But Yeah, and I have to take Conte at his word when he said we're 2 to 3 windows away from competing.
Yeah.
Right now, I think probably overachieving a little bit. And like I said before, like heavily relying on being efficient with smaller chances in the attacking third. And thankfully we have Son and Kane, who, if you give them 4 shots, they might get 3 goals out of it. More than likely, they will get 3 goals out of 4 shots, hopefully. But that's kind of, I guess I'm pragmatic about it. Like, I would rather see results than style, personally. Like, I don't care how you play as long as you get 3 points at the end of the day. But I know some people.
Are
some
you
people
related
aren't
to
like
Gareth
that.
Southgate?
I don't care for England too much.
I'm just kidding.
So I think you kind of answered the question we had earlier, where it was, are you worried about Harry Kane not getting goals in open play? I think that it's Conte's style, and
Yeah.
in my opinion, I think the longer Conte's there, the more likely you're to see. I would say Kane leaves and Martinez from Inter comes in. I think he fits that play style a lot better.
Yeah, that's true. I think I've said it before. I think Kane and Conte's futures are tied.
Like to stay together or not separate?
If one leaves, the other will. If one stays, the other will stay. Like with all the Juventus stuff that has been rumored with Conte, like if he goes, Kane will probably be gone next summer. I don't think he will. I'll say that first, I guess. But I don't think Conte. I think if Levy sold Kane, Conte would say, "Okay, well, here's my resignation." The
tricky one on that, Hoff, is this would be Kane's last opportunity, really, at 30, right? He'll be 30 years old, so it's kind of that will be his last opportunity to get that move, like a decent money move to somewhere new. So that's the problem I think that you'll face the most, and he'll have a decision to make, like, do I stay in the Prem for my whole career, or do I make this move now?
Well, he was linked to Bayern, not just last year when we sold Lewandowski, but when the initial rumor with Lewandowski came out, he was the top target that everybody thought was going to go, and then Spurs were like, or Levy put him at 150 million, or it was 120 million, 150 million euros, and you're not going to pay that for a 29-year-old striker. So, I mean, we'll probably see him. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for 80 million euros, and like I said, then you get good money to spend on a younger replacement. Right.
And I think they would never admit it, but that's probably part of the thinking of dropping 60 million on Richarlison as well, because he has a head start on whoever the next guy may be.
Yeah.
Do you want like a situation where it's like Julian Alvarez, though, where it's like Richarlison and another young striker, or do you want an experienced person in front of him?
I don't know if we would buy another young striker, just because Dane Scarlett is doing really well right now. So our academy strikers are doing pretty well. Parrott's okay. We'll probably sell him at some point, but I think we're betting on Scarlett to be the next guy. So probably, I would say, given that scenario, probably a more experienced guy to not necessarily pair, to play alongside or spell Richarlison if and when needed.
It adds pressure on you to make top 4 this whole scenario as well, because you like, if you want to keep Kane, you need to probably secure top 4. If you want to bring in a replacement of a decent skill level that you're looking for to replace him with, you probably need the Champions League, you know what I mean? So there's a bit of pressure involved with that whole scenario.
Yeah. And also, I'm not really upset about the result. I think in the entire history of the Premier League, which Spurs have been there since the beginning, in 92, right? I think we've won 3 away games to like top 6 sides, big 6 sides. So, I mean, it's just part of the DNA. Like, we don't win.
You mean
big
it's
6
Spursy?
away.
It's very Spursy.
It's
Say.
See, I've heard that term. No, I have an issue with that term because it used to mean like giving up a lead, bottling a game. Now it means you lose. Now it just means a defeat. So
I thought Spursy was like you just kind of go crazy and just buy a bunch of stuff.
No. I thought it was just an empty trophy cabinet.
That's a spree.
Also not empty, but that's okay. We're just dispelling myths tonight.
Do you see what Arsenal fans have done though? They put out so many versions of it that you guys are like, I thought it was this. I thought it was that. You see, it's success.
So this is Arsenal propaganda is what it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Arsenal fan TV.
No, I mean, it's one of those things where, it would annoy me too, honestly, Hoff, but it's one of those things until you see, you have a good team and you see it through to a league win
right.
or a major trophy win, it's just not going to go away.
Oh, yeah, I know.
It's just one of those things, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's funny, I was thinking myself, like I'd been way more worried about the Tottenham squad that you have under Pochettino, for example, with that attacking philosophy.
Yeah,
I would be far more worried about playing Tottenham than I was going into a game versus Conte's Tottenham. That's just for me personally.
Yeah,
I agree.
I hope that we collectively get to see whatever Conte's vision is for the final form of this squad, because I think that would be really fun. And I don't know, I guess probably for me it would be I would start in the midfield and get a creative midfielder. Like, it doesn't have to be an attacking midfielder, but just someone that can play a ball and there are like 5 people in the world that can do it, but like Kevin De Bruyne did or does regularly.
If you could team replace on the planet right now.
right.
You want Modric back then?
Oh my god, I would love
that's
that.
That's what I mean. Like, who would you take back? Who would be the perfect midfield pairing with Højbjerg or Bentancur?
I would probably. I think Højbjerg and Modric would probably work for me. Or even I would. Yeah, but someone like Modric. Obviously, Modric isn't coming back.
No. How old is he now? He's 32.
How about Milinkovic-Savic?
Oh, he's 30.
I would like him.
37. Yeah.
He's 37.
Yeah, but
SMS would be incredible.
All right, another question: Modric or Thiago Alcantara?
Oh, Modric.
900
times out of a 900.
Who's the more elegant player, though?
Modric.
Okay. Milo?
There's a saying that I love the saying. It's in fantasy football that I've heard a lot over the last year. It's availability is the best ability.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
And Thiago, I mean, he is fun to watch, but he plays so sparingly. It seems like.
Yeah.
Like has he I honestly don't know. This is part of my ignorance. Has he played more than like 20 or 30 games in a row in a season? I just don't know.
He did when he had him at Bayern. He was pretty healthy, but we also had a heavy rotation of midfielders at the time. So.
Right. Okay.
But Modric always is going to have that golden ball in his cabinet that Thiago's never going to have. Or
True.
I don't know if another midfielder will in our lifetime. So.
Yeah.
Clearly, you've not seen Granit Xhaka this season.
I said yellow ball, not yellow card.
Oh, that reminds me. You said Xhaka really quick. I do need to give praise, and I'm kind of surprised. I'm surprised and disappointed you didn't bring up Saliba. I thought he was man of the match. He was incredible. Yeah. He was so frustrating. I'm like, damn, that guy is good. He played great. He shut down Kane. And right after the penalty, it could have gone I feel like it could have gone either way. And he was the calm presence. I thought that was really impressive to me.
Yeah, and I really hope that the sending Saliba out on loan for 2 consecutive seasons that raised so many eyebrows. I think what the club did there is stand steadfast in their belief that that's what it's going to take to get him to the level that we want him at.
Yep.
And it worked. And it doesn't always work when you loan players out. We've seen it. Reece Nelson is one that springs to mind. He's still in the Arsenal system. He's been out on loan many times, but he's still not quite cutting the mustard. And you put Saliba in a team where he can play every week against a mixture of opponents, some good, some really good, and we've got kind of a finished product back at a very young age. So now the key thing will be get him secured to a long deal, because he has 18 months left on that existing contract. So I think if we're still, I'm pretty sure that's going to be a priority for the club this season, is to get him signed to a new long-term deal, and I don't think it will be a problem, because you can put in a giant release clause.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can do stuff like that nowadays, and if we're on track for top 4, I mean, in my opinion, there'd be no reason for him to leave a young team that's playing very well.
Yeah.
The longer you can keep him paired with Gabriel, the scarier your club looks in the back line.
Yeah, I think so. And I like Gabriel. I think the fact that a couple of mistakes have been highlighted by him just shows how good Saliba is too. Because I don't think those mistakes would have been highlighted if Gabriel was alongside Rob Holding. Because there would have been something worse that Holding did that would have taken the focus. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like Saliba's playing that well that it's making Gabriel's mistakes quite glaring. But I'm happy with them both, and I think you're gonna get some slips, you're gonna get some missed kicks. That's just gonna it's all part of being a defender.
Right.
You're trying to get any part of your body in front of the ball at times, and sometimes you're just caught short by a counter attack or whatever. So stuff will happen. I just think that I couldn't be. How could I be happy with how the season has started, apart from the blip at Old Trafford? Like, it's just it's the most optimistic I've been as an Arsenal fan for a number of years. That's for sure.
Fair enough.
Spurs are still third, by the way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
With a game,
one loss,
game in hand, I think, as well.
Nope. They're all in top 3, but they're only 4 points out. So
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's way too early to talk anything about league. I think it's okay to talk about, if we continue like this, we should make top 4. That's, someone asked me yesterday. I said 3rd at the start of the season. It was kind of an out there prediction, I thought, but top 4, I mean, if you're going top 4, it's 3rd or 4th, so.
Alrighty.
I think Liverpool are making a hole, but anyway, go on, Karen.
Oh,
Sorry,
perfect transition to Liverpool. Liverpool 3-3. Trossard with a hat trick. New manager Roberto De Zerbi's first game in charge. I think that's now 3 seasons in a row without defeat at Liverpool for Brighton. Firmino with a couple beautiful goals and then an own goal as well. Trent Alexander-Arnold, though, looking like a different player. Do you guys have any idea why Trent is playing this way? Can you imagine anyway? The only thing I can think of is there were talks of a contract. I mean, I don't think. How differently do you think he could play? Like, is this the equivalent of a player just like not going to preseason training camp or something? Like they do in the NFL, right? The guy just holds out till he gets his contract or something. Like, is there something? I don't know what's going on, or is he just not? Is he just forgetting about defending? He's thinking like the spirit of Liverpool or whatever, that crazy high energy that they always play with will somehow take care of the defensive duties. I don't know what's up with him. I mean, getting a draw was great, but I don't know. Something seems off at Liverpool, and I can't put my finger on it, to be honest.
I think
Michael,
that's the point, though, right? I think is Liverpool are off. I think it's easy to point blame on select players, when they have glaring moments, and when you're a big name like Trent, I think it's easy to fall on your shoulders. But I think you look at Virgil van Dijk has been not even close to the players he's been in the past. So when you and your backline partners are failing, I think it's easy to kind of point the blame to different areas. So I think he's kind of in the unfortunate bullseye of also being an English player struggling on a big English team. So but in my opinion, he's never been great defensively. I think he's always been better offensively. He's always been a good wingback type of player, which is why I think for England he's a massive player. But I don't think he's ever been good defensively. Just Liverpool have been so good in terms of controlling the game and controlling the ball that you don't have to be the best defensive player to look better. So I think it's just Liverpool as a whole are struggling, which for me, I point fingers at the midfield. So but that's my humble opinion.
I was talking to Soccer about this yesterday, and Michael, Soccer, he might turn up in chat. He's a Liverpool fan that's kind of often around the channels, and
I'm trying to get a Liverpool fan on the show.
Yeah, it'd be good to get Soccer on because he is very.
I've asked him before. Yeah.
Does he need a bribe or something? Like,
I don't know. What can we do?
Maybe he'll only come on when Liverpool are playing well. I don't know. No, I'm just
it's a tough time to ask.
I'm just kidding, Soccer, if you're listening. I was talking to him, and he said to me, burnout, and it's from, winning the league and then titanic battles with Man City at the top of the league, losing out by a point both times. Was it a point both times? I mean, it's just taking its toll on this squad, and then obviously you take that energy of Mane out, and he's, I think he's in a league that requires less energy, so maybe and I don't mean that in a really negative attack. That's not an attack on the Bundesliga. I just think maybe it's a little less energetic than the Premier League. Maybe you guys can comment on that because you're the Bundesliga fans, but
I'm getting my guards up right now.
Yeah, but Mane, you take that energy out, and then you've got other players that are just, I just wonder if it's burnout, man. Like that, and unfortunately, unless you refresh, you need a breath of fresh air through the squad. And I don't think it's from a management level. I just think it's a playing on the pitch level. They need a breath of fresh air, or they need a season where they can really just take a breather. And this might be it. I mean, maybe this World Cup break will do Liverpool the world of good.
It's also Klopp's 7th season. His cursed 7th season.
Salah will be he won't be at the World Cup as well, so that'll be nice for him. I do feel that the style of play as well, right? They played every single game they could have last season, and then also add to that their style of play, that high intensity, gegenpress, and just rock heavy metal, right? Heavy metal. You can only listen to heavy metal for so long before you get a headache, And I think it's a consequence of that. I think, yeah.
And all their midfielders are 90 years old, so it doesn't help.
I mean, I that's Henderson, Milner, even Thiago. They're missing those legs. I don't know where. I think Keita's been out as well. I think he's been injured, right? So they were kind of hit by some injuries early on as well. They're still in there though. They're I think 2 points, or I think just behind United. They're 2 points off United, and then with a game in hand, I think. But they're right around there. Yeah.
In addition to like the physical fatigue of playing every single game, they were winning 2 of those games away from a quadruple. So the mental strain and the mental like energy you put into that, it's God, I can't even imagine like what kind of, and they like barely got a preseason as well.
Yeah.
Like what kind of like mental fatigue these guys are under too.
That's why I think they're under a lot more trouble than people are probably even thinking right now, is how busy this winter window is going to be, and then they got to come back and try and survive. I don't think they'll make top 4. I think they'll probably struggle to even make Europa, if I'm honest, at this rate.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's possible. Moving along, and they have Champions League midweek. Who is it they're playing? Let me see here.
They have Rangers.
Oh, that's right, Rangers tomorrow. So
at Anfield, to be fair. So
that'll be high energy. Newcastle won 4-1. Fulham early red card in that one. Chelsea 2-1 over Palace with Conor Gallagher scoring a late winner. Really nice goal.
Great goal, yeah.
He didn't celebrate.
Miggy Almiron's goal. His volley.
Yeah.
Oh, outside of his foot.
It was
that was a weird one.
Beautiful.
MLS product, by the way. You're welcome. Thank you.
Is he really? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Atlanta United.
From Atlanta. Yep.
Oh, sick. USA.
MLS champions beating the Portland Timbers. Atlanta United, by the way. I'm not.
They're not ready for the World Cup. They're not ready for the World Cup. Brentford, Bournemouth 0-0. West Ham 2, Wolves 0. Leeds 0, Villa 0. Did you see Sinistera's second yellow? Did you guys see that?
That
I did not.
Brain dead play. Like he's
It's
already on a yellow, Oh, go ahead. I'll let you tell it. Go ahead.
Yeah, so basically it's just a classic guy's taking a free kick, you're inside of 10 yards, you stick a leg out and you block it. And that was for his second yellow, and he gets sent off. I'm not sure what minute that was in. Let me see.
It wasn't like right after his like first yellow or whatever, so it's like it was just him lapsing that he got in one. I think they went to half and he came back and got the second one.
Yeah,
so
48th minute.
Yeah.
48th minute. And post-match, actually, I don't know if you guys heard Jesse Marsh's remarks about time wasting, right? I don't know if you heard about that. He was talking about how Villa was slowing the game down on every free kick, players staying down, and all this stuff. So, he's American.
That Villa played for a draw.
Did I mention he's American? Anyway, No. I'm just kidding. Okay. All right. The other game. Okay. There was Leicester-Nottingham as well this morning. That was a pretty wild game. Leicester 3-0 up in 35 minutes. Maddison, give him the England captaincy, right? All that good stuff. Anyways. All right. The other game. There's another game this weekend. Manchester United versus Manchester Blue? What is it?
Manchester is blue, right? Good job, bro.
Oh, man. I had to say that yesterday. I lost a bet. The bet was if United lose by 2 or more, I have to say M is B is blue. And then if United won, it would be the other way around. But yeah, that's how it was. So I had to say it. Mahomes, thank you for the raid, man. Appreciate it. Anyways, all right, the Manchester Derby. Yeah, it happened yesterday. It was bad for United and it was good for City. Okay, here's the thing. City are just good. They're really good. They're the best team in Europe, arguably the best team in Europe. And Pep is a very good manager. One of the best. Not the best. I think Ancelotti is better than him, as evidenced by last year's Champions League, where Manchester City choked. But let's be serious, okay? Let's be a little more serious. Let's be a little more rational. Let's be non-biased. City are just better. They're just better. I don't think United made any massive mistakes. We just were not. We didn't know how to deal with City's, their overlaps and all that stuff. And Eriksen and McTominay were just all over the place. We're playing like a back six. We're playing with the back six, and it was just looking bad. It was just bad. Haaland is a beast. I don't think a lot of people are talking about Lisandro being he didn't do anything that Lisandro was fine. You could tell there was something mentally off about United. They weren't ready for the intensity of City. You saw, after the goals, sure, 4-0 first half. It's just, I don't know. It was just bad. Honestly, it wasn't even like, it was just City played really well. Haaland is a very good player. Foden's a very good player. De Bruyne is a very good player. Pep's been there for 6+ years. They have a whole system there. It's a whole machine. They're doing very well. They're going to be doing very well for the at least the short term, and maybe a couple of years now with Haaland and Foden. I really have nothing too negative to say about United, other than I do think that the squad does need different profiles of players. We played with the same exact team we've been playing with in the Premier League for the last couple weeks. This seems like the group that Ten Hag trusts, and I was wondering if he would change it, right? Playing Bruno and Eriksen at the same time. He didn't. He didn't change it, and he stayed with the same setup. Our press was quite weak. We would press high, and we were trying to press high, but the minute it got past our front four that were pressing, it was just left to the whole rest of the team to figure out what to do and try to stop City and then obviously, we're gonna look for the counter off of that. I thought Eriksen had a kind of a weak game. Rashford had a bit of a weak game as well. Dalot had a bit of a subdued game. When you're having to deal with all those overlaps and the massive overloads that City does, it's tough. Then, you know, if we could talk about the second half. I don't think it really matters at 4-0, but you know, you could tell that something mentally switched. We were a little more relaxed. We were passing the ball around like a team. Then again, City wasn't doing their crazy press, which they were doing in the first half. They do a bit of a, you know, gegen press as well, but they play a little more possession, right, once they get it back. Yeah, Bernardo Silva pressing. You know, these guys pressing is like is what you need in a high quality team. And I don't think Sancho and Anthony understand that type of stuff yet. And even Rashford and Bruno, that their defensive side of their game just isn't there yet. But yeah, I mean, what else is there to say? Haaland is a beast, and he's a next level athlete. He's just a physical specimen, just like, you know, Henry and Mbappe and, you know, even Ronaldo when he was built up, and Messi with his, you know, super powerful legs, which no one has any idea how that happened. Like, there's a scientific reason. I'm not sure. I don't know why his legs are so strong. But, you know, these are physical anomalies in this type of game, and like you can't really get upset about it. You know, you just can't. Oh, the other thing is Varane was off for the corner kick goal, which is, you know, the only reason why we lost. You know, that's the only reason. Yeah, go for it, Mike. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I don't think I love Eriksen. I've loved Christian Eriksen from his time at Spurs. I think he was great at Inter. He's not a holding midfielder though, and I don't know if Ten Hag's trying to force him to be one, or if it's just lack of resources. But to me, you bought Casemiro. This is the type of game you should have bought Casemiro for. Why is he on the bench? Was he unfit? Was he just old from, you know, the international matches? This game to me screamed Casemiro's partnership with Rafa Varane, and I think it could have helped.
Yeah, you know, Casemiro also. I mean, Casemiro and McTominay together, or you mean Casemiro and Eriksen together?
I probably would have gone McTominay and Casemiro, honestly. And just,
okay,
if your goal is to push with front four and then solidify into like a back six, I think you need to go with somebody, because a lot of the passes went around Eriksen and down Eriksen's side, and it's because he's in this no man's land of, do I go up and help press, because that's where his natural feeling is, but defensively he's lost.
Yeah, well, the thing is I think there was a sense of this is the squad, you know, this is the Premier League squad, that because they've just been playing the whole they haven't let him down yet, right? So there's a sense that you got to play Eriksen at that double pivot 8 or whatever you want to call it, but the defensive duty, you know, his defensive work rate is just not good enough for that type of game. He needs to be in that 10 position, you know, in that situation. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know what the deal is with Casemiro. You know, there's a big kind of a, you call it conspiracy or something. I don't know, Machiavelli. I don't know what the phrase is, but like maybe there's a long-term vision that, you know, is it worth it to throw Casemiro into this type of game? Maybe he's not completely adjusted to the Premier League yet. Maybe, you know, he's a big money signing. You know, you're leaving Ronaldo on the bench. Maybe leaving Casemiro on the bench adds a bit of mentality. You know what I mean? Like, I could massage that idea a little bit and make it feel good. But I don't think Casemiro is. He has the legs that are also necessary in that position. McTominay has legs, you know, but against City, I don't know. Eriksen got in good positions, but he just didn't make a lot of good passes. But yeah, it's tough to change the starting 11.
If the issue though is Casemiro doesn't have the legs, then one, why buy him, or two, why not change the system so you have Eriksen and Bruno in front of him, and then he's that solid rock between the front five and the back four.
Yeah,
it's just questionable. It's a really questionable. Like, even when they signed him, I was like, it's a name, and he's a good defensive midfielder, and probably still one of the best defensive midfielders out there right now. But does he fit into what United want to do? Yeah, I don't think so, unless he changes randomly.
Is there any truth to the rumors that Casemiro was a board signing, not a Ten Hag signing.
That's interesting. I have no idea.
I don't know about that one either.
I read something about it the weekend. I'll see if I can find the article and I'll post it in your Discord. But
you know,
it was a suggestion.
Yeah, there was a lot of after the Brentford game, we had a lot of troubles with a holding midfielder picking the ball up like from a 6 position, and Casemiro also doesn't do that very well, so it doesn't really fix that situation. He got the ball in the 6th position a couple times and he gave the ball away in that City game. It was even in the second half when he came on. That's how Ten Hag wants to play. We didn't get that player for him. Casemiro is, he's not a young guy. He's not a young, he's used to having Modric and Cruz around him, and being a dominant team.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know. I just think I think the occasion was too big. Honestly, it is what it is. I mean, you hate to say it. I mean, we looked better than last year's derby, at least. I'll put it that way. That's good. And I'm also, this is not a game that I was expecting to win. Sure, the run of form we had, I was like, maybe we can get a draw. I got my hopes up for a draw, but then I knew that getting my hopes up for a draw meant we would lose 100%. And my prediction was 3-1 loss. So I wasn't too disappointed, but yeah, he's just Haaland. Haaland is so good, man. He's just too good.
Anthony's goal, by the way, also deserves a shout. That was a beautiful strike.
Yeah.
He relaxed in the second half as well. You could see he was the way he was just touching the ball. He was getting more comfortable. It was a big. I think First off, I think Ten Hag got firsthand what was going on. Pep was a little overexcited. I don't know if you guys saw that. He was. I think a lot of people were saying. Yeah. Hearing the comparisons, Ten Hag is coming for Pep or whatever. He's better than Pep, blah, blah, blah. And I think Pep got a little sensitive about that, and he, I don't know. And Pep is Pep,
I saw a tweet saying that they are doing a Walter White impersonation contest.
Yeah. That's Twitter.
Twitter. Haaland's on pace to smash, every goal-scoring record in the Premier League history.
Yes.
I don't know what's going to slow that down, but teams are going to have to figure it out quick, or it's going to be a real problem. I want to highlight that ball by De Bruyne. It looks so simple, and it really isn't. I mean, it's an inch perfect through ball. It's literally, the school of Dennis Bergkamp. That's right out of that.
The finish as well to get there.
Actually,
Haaland was already down and had to I watched it back because I was to your point, Milo, the pass was perfect, but I watched it back because the finish didn't get as much credit as I feel like it deserves as well, because he had to slide, and while sliding, he still actually had to make the kicking motion. It wasn't he slid with his leg up the whole time. He had to then kick it from the ground to redirect it. Beautiful from both parts.
I couldn't agree more. And what I just liked about that De Bruyne pass, it's how I wanted to play football. When I played football, I always was looking for these through balls. It was always people have a go at me on eFootball and FIFA when I was playing that last year that I rely on the lob through ball too much. It's just how I like to set up goals. So I just thought that pass was just unreal. And the other thing I had written down about this game was it's obviously going to take City. It's going to take something very special to beat them, right? Do you think they could go unbeaten?
No.
Sure. Yeah, why not?
I don't think so.
Why not?
There's too much going on this year. If this wasn't World Cup year in the middle of the year, maybe I could see them having an invincible run, but not this year.
Speaking about that through ball though by De Bruyne, I think you could. I think the Lisandro Martinez haters could look at that. De Bruyne clipped that ball. A normal, taller center back would have just headed that ball away. It went right over Lisandro's head.
Are you helping or hurting your case?
I'm just calling it how it is, unbiased. All you City fans in chat.
I think that is. You could say that, but also it's unless you're in the game. If De Bruyne's hit that with the pace, because obviously what you see on TV, the replays and stuff, it doesn't really justify it when you're at a live game. Like the speed of the play and what it takes as a defender to get your head on something like that.
Yeah, because you're running back and you're in
Yeah.
a full sprint backwards to be able to.
With that being said, Saliba would have put that into Rose and would have been building a statue of him. But yeah.
I mean, it looked like Lisandro might have let it go to some extent. I don't know if he did. We'll see. I don't know.
Maybe his communication with De Gea behind him and expecting De Gea to come forward for it.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was a really well placed ball between De Gea and where Haaland had to stretch to. So maybe De Gea's not off or comes off his line to get it. Maybe that's what he's expecting.
I'm very interested to see how United react. Apparently, there's reports of today at Carrington at United's training camp. Ten Hag's letting the players go at each other. I love it.
In a ring? Or like in a mud wrestling?
I have no
concept?
idea.
Right.
This is just what the Twitter the Twitter.
He hired one of those inflatable boxing rings and let them go at it
with the oversized gloves.
Yeah.
I just had one I can't even think of what it's called right now. Where you compare something to the other
Venn diagram?
Pie charts?
No,
Analogy?
it's a analogy. Thank you. Gosh, I just went brain dead. So I had one analogy and I had a question about a question for Cart about the game, or not necessarily the game, about the manager. My analogy, and I heard it on a full transparency, I've heard it on a podcast earlier today, and I thought it was perfect. So I just wanted to share. They equated Man United to McLaren in the F1 constructors race this year. Like, and when they say, like, you hear it on the radio, some like pretty regularly if you watch F1, like a Red Bull fly past McLaren, and they're like, "That's not your fight. Let them go." Man City is the Red Bull in this case. Like, Manchester United's like fighting with the Alpines, the Tottenhams, Chelsea's, Liverpool at this point. So it's like, yeah, you want to put it on a good showing. I get that it's disappointing, but yeah, I don't think you're not fighting for the title. So
I mean, a lot of watching the match, I'm just remembering all there's a part of me that felt after, like, you know, a couple goals is like, these guys, we're saving our legs, you know, like we're saving our tires, we're saving our gas, you know, we're saving our mental fatigue or whatever. No, definitely. I mean, City, you know, they're Champions League final contenders, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's just a fact. So
It hurts, though. That takes a mental toll, getting pummeled by your closest rival, right?
It can.
Right, Hoff?
It can.
I'm kidding.
I just don't think. Right. The goal is United to be challenging with City. You know, the idea that is the goal in the first 3 months of Ten Hag's managerial, you know, situation. Pep's been there with 6 years. Tiki Begiristain, or whatever his name is, has been there since 2012 as the technical director or sporting director, whatever it is, at City. You know, he's been, you know, like, we've got a new technical director this summer. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is our 2012 in a way, if you want to compare us to City. But, you know, we'll still put together squads and spend a lot of money and, you know, get the people in the seats and put together good teams. But to put a team together is going to take a bit of time, you know? It's going to take a bit of time.
Yeah.
So
I saw that Ten Hag was saying that he would allow Ronaldo to leave this winter if they got a bid fitting.
I don't know.
What's your thoughts on
Yeah,
that?
I didn't hear that, but I think that'd be a good deal. You know, it's Ronaldo. I think he's everyone over the international break, which was last week, and Portugal got knocked out. Well, they didn't get knocked out. They had to draw or win to get to the Nations League final, and they lost to Spain. Everyone after, and Ronaldo started. Everyone after that was talking about how Ronaldo needs to retire, you know, all this. And I kind of do agree. You know, the only time he's on 191 or 93 caps for Portugal. I think he wants to get to that 200. He's already expressed that he wants to play in Euro 2024. it's getting to a stage with him that he's there for the fans. He's there for his leadership, maybe like a Zlatan kind of esque situation. He can provide that for a club, any prospective club. Apparently, he met with Jordan Peterson this summer. I don't know if you guys know the psychologist professor Jordan Peterson, and one of the things they talked about was how to gracefully leave playing, right? Because he's been a player since 17, right? And he was one of the best players in the world at 21, 22 or whatever, right? Then he goes to Madrid, 23, and he's just been in the limelight, top of the game for so long, you know. Carries that to Juventus. Now you're seeing at United, it's all coming down. The psychology for he's a person, you know. He's a person. You got to think about it's got to be tough to accept that it's over. You know? Yeah, absolutely. Boo-hoo, exactly. So it's interesting that he spoke with Jordan Peterson, who's like, you know, very like interesting figure in pop culture. Talking about, and Jordan Peterson himself said he talked to him about how to move on past his career, leaving playing.
He will have untold amounts of offers to be a pundit on Portuguese
TV,
yeah. British TV, wherever he wants.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Right?
It wasn't that he doesn't have things to do after his playing career. It was how to transition, basically.
Yeah.
And how to, because he's identified. Think about your profession. If it just ended at 35 or 38, you know, that you've been doing since you're, tons of players go through
Shaq
this.
talks about, right? It's the father time thing. That Shaq talks about a lot.
Yeah, you don't want to end up looking like R9 at the age of 40.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, true.
So
I've always thought he goes back to sporting to finish
Absolutely,
his career.
that'd be a great move.
He was
Like his
heavily
swan
linked
song.
with that, right? In the summer. I feel if it was true, he was being shopped around, right? Like in the summer, pretty heavily
By himself.
or his agent.
His agent, yeah. Just my question, and I'm glad we were just talking about Ronaldo, is more about Ten Hag. Like when he first came in, he's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna treat Ronaldo like any other player. He's not gonna get like the star treatment, whatever, from me." And then after the game, he said he didn't put him on out of respect for his career.
Yep.
I thought that was kind of weird. Like, I understand why he did it, but if you're going to treat everyone exactly the same, why is he not coming on?
I think later in that quote, he went to say that Martial's young and needed the minutes. So it's
He did,
kind of,
yeah.
That's
it's still
fair. That's fair.
counterproductive to
Yeah.
it. You know, it's 1 foot in the pool, 1 out.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, there was no crazy moves. I thought, you know, Shaw.
But then part of you thinks, why not inject an angry Cristiano Ronaldo into that game and maybe something will come out of it, you know? I think it was too
4-0.
far gone at that point, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what's interesting about this, going back to City for a minute, is usually the last few years, at least, I've been dreading facing them, and I'm not looking ahead too much. We got Liverpool next. I think that will be a tougher game than people are suggesting it will be. But I'm looking forward to playing City this season. I think that we'll lose. I don't think we'll beat them. But I am looking forward to playing just to see where we're at against them. A threat like Haaland and a team like City. You know what I mean? I'm looking forward to seeing where we're at against that.
When do you guys play City?
It was postponed. It was supposed to be this month, but it was postponed.
Oh,
Yeah,
was
it'll
it one
be
of
interesting.
the Queen's matches?
That was because of the Europa League game got moved.
The Europa League got
'cause
moved,
it's later,
so then
yeah.
they had to move the City game. Yeah, exactly. That's right. Yeah.
So the next scheduled matchup is the 26th of April.
Yeah. So I think it will get inserted into the schedule before that somewhere.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. I definitely think, you know, Saka's defensive work rate will help with that, and I think Martinelli can do a bit of tracking back as well. So
I mean, no greater test for any centre back pairing than Haaland right now, right?
Yeah.
And then your
Well,
DMF has to just literally shut down De Bruyne. That's the only way. Like,
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's a team defense. That's why I pointed out the wingers, right? Because Sancho, Even I mean, I know Odegaard will drop in, and Bruno doesn't drop in. You know, like it's that defensive work rate from the front four really is, I think, what makes the difference against a team like City. Obviously, I don't think Arsenal are gonna sit back, park the bus. I doubt it.
That doesn't seem to be on the menu for us, which I'm okay with. I've always said I'd rather go out in a blaze of glory. That's just me.
Yeah, no, for sure, and it'll be a fun game to watch. It's just that Saka can do the defensive work rate. I think Martinelli can do the defensive work rate. It you guys should be able to handle it a lot better than we did. But yeah. I mean, I really don't feel I don't really feel any way about this game. I know it sounds like I might be it's copium or whatever, but United are United, but City is just unbelievable right now with Haaland and Foden. I don't think it's like some crazy Pep Guardiola masterclass or anything. I think
Haaland is the perfect build for Premier League football. I think as well. Like he's just like if you could build a centre forward for the Premier League, that is it.
And he plays for Norway, so he's gonna be sitting at home for the World Cup. Which means you don't have to worry about him missing the second half of the season. So, but Man City, by the way, are at risk of running away with the league early on. I know we keep saying it's early on in the league, but for October, they have a pretty easy fixture schedule. Their two toughest opponents they have to go to Dortmund on a Tuesday for the Champions League, and then they have to play at Anfield mid-October on a Sunday. Outside of that, they're facing Brighton, Leicester. They got Copenhagen twice, and then they host Southampton. Pretty easy fixture list. But then all of November, they don't go on the road for any of their fixtures. They are hosting every single game in November, which is Sevilla in the Champions League, then Fulham, Chelsea, and Brentford. Like they could run away, get a good 3 or 4 game lead here early in the season.
Yeah. And on your mentioning how Haaland will be a big test. I think, like you mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, it's about the service, right? If you allow, Man City are just such a complete team, right? All the way back to the goalkeeper, they can all play it with their feet. If you don't defend that situation, their build up and all that properly, it's just it's a recipe for disaster. And then your center backs will look bad. Varane did look pretty bad. With all the space that De Bruyne had to make that pass. It's very much a dominoes. Yeah.
In chat, they're talking about the fact that Haaland has had injury issues, like 4-week layoff here, 6-week layoff there. If that comes, that could derail City a little bit. Like if he does have that, but like you say, he's going to be resting when other people are at the World Cup. So
knowing Arsenal's luck, he'll be injured for your game.
But I mean, you say that, but we've had so many games where our players have been missing, injured or what have you. Yeah, and like, the start of last season, we had an injury-ravaged squad, and we had the 3 toughest games. I mean, well, I say the 3. I mean, I thought Brentford away was tough purely because I think it's difficult playing a newly promoted side on the opening weekend away from home. And our team was ravaged, So it's just one of those things. Like any side, though, if you take the talisman out, they're gonna have a difficult time or a harder time.
Right.
But then City can insert Alvarez, right? So
I was just about to say, I don't know if that's really that big of a fall off either. Like, I think Alvarez hasn't really gotten his time to shine yet, but he killed it in Argentina, and he's a really bright talent. There's a reason they dropped the big bucks on him. I don't think it's a very far off role of quality if you bring in Alvarez for Haaland.
Right. Yeah.
And to your point, Cart, I like, yes, you want to cut off the service to Haaland, but they have, unfortunately, 10 people on the pitch that can lay off that type of service. So, I think you just, the way you beat Man City is you just hold the ball. If you manage 60% of the possession and force them to chase you all game, I think you can wear them out. But it's easier said than done against that team.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. They got to come to Old Trafford. You never know what's gonna happen. You never know what could happen. We're not gonna lose 6-3, are we?
No, 5-2.
5-2. Jeez, man. Yeah. Anything else about Premier League England things before we head into some other things? Look at let's read the comments there. I didn't read any of the comments. I had a feeling the comments were going a little crazy for that section. You know what I'm saying?
Somewhere.
I was keeping a good eye on it.
Okay. Yeah, if there's any good
upcoming
comments,
fixtures
other
than Arsenal, Liverpool coming up, and then I think the rest of the weekend's pretty calm.
Let's see.
We got Palace hosting Leeds, West Ham hosting Fulham, Everton hosting United, Brighton Spurs. I would circle that one. See if the Cinderella story of Brighton continues. See how Spurs rebound.
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea versus the coachless Wolverhampton. Excuse me.
Oh yes.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Bruno Lage out. Was it 1 win in 14 or something?
Mm-hmm.
Something crazy like
bad.
that.
Yeah.
Steve Bruce rumors, Sean Dyche rumors, Julian Lopetegui from Sevilla rumored.
It's gotta be a Portuguese head coach though, right? Knowing Wolves.
Gotta be Portuguese, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
João Dyke or something. João Dyke.
I saw that the sporting manager was linked as well. I can't remember his name.
I was just leaving,
shocker.
but of course.
No. He was linked. I think he's, for all I know, he could be their top target. But I saw he was linked earlier. He's done a really good job with that club as well.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, Sporting is a powerhouse for a reason.
Yeah.
I think they will have spent something like 134 million in the summer as well. So it's tough. It's a tough situation there.
It kind of reminds me of a little bit. I guess it's a little more. Actually, it's actually pretty similar. Now that I think about it, to Tuchel. Like, you're gonna give all this money and back this manager, and then he's gone. Mm-hmm. I mean, they've got Kalajic, and then he tears his ACL in his first game. Like, that's just bad luck.
Yeah.
And Diego Costa, I don't know. I want him to do
good.
Well. Did he? I didn't see him
really
this weekend.
Good.
Okay.
I mean, he missed a sitter for a player of his quality, but he made a difference.
Yeah,
I love Diego Costa.
I would really like to see Diego
old,
Costa do well. But yeah, just the overall style, like I think he never really got to make the team that he wanted. Even though they spent quite a bit this summer, I think he did I don't know about the best, but I think he made it work with Nuno's squad. Like, they were hard to beat, but they didn't score a lot. That was the main issue. And I think getting rid of Cody was not
questionable,
wise. And that might just be like a difference of opinion. Like, he wants to play a different system, and Cody's like, okay, then you need to let me go. But I thought that was kind of weird.
Yeah.
I think Raul Jimenez as well has just been. It's unfortunate because I really liked him and he was doing really, really well, and then he had the crazy injury. Then credit to him for even coming back and playing. But if we're calling a spade, he's just not the player that is Premier League quality right now.
Yep.
And I don't think they have any Premier League quality strikers on their team, if I'm being honest. Huang's he hasn't been proven. Costa's arguably their best striker right now, and again, he's 95 years old, so
right.
And like you said, the Connor Cody deal, I feel like the sacking was it's too early for me. I mean, he's got a broken team that he's trying to put together. It's Portugal's 2 team, so like you gotta give him time to meld, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Poor Bruno Lage. Let's move on to some continental stuff. That's what you say, right? Continental? On the continent?
On the continent. Yes.
I'll go ahead with La Liga real quick. Madrid finally drew. Top of the table, Madrid drew at home to Osasuna. Fun game. I watched some of the game. Benzema missed a penalty against Osasuna keeper. That's the third penalty he's missed against that keeper in this year. He's only missed like 8 penalties in his career, and 3 of them were against Osasuna. But now that leaves Barcelona tied at the top, or tied on points, but ahead by goal difference. So Barca's now first place. Lewandowski with a beautiful goal. Just he's next level. Next level things. Yeah, Sevilla lost to Atletico Madrid. But Sevilla's, Lopetegui's being linked away. It's apparently they're having talks with the board. Espanyol Valencia 2-2 draw, red card each. Bilbao won 4-0 against Almeria on Friday. But yeah, Barcelona finally top. Bilbao moving to 3rd. Betis 4th. Atletico Madrid hanging in there at 5th. Sevilla are in 17th place. 1 win, 2 draws from their first 7 games. So Sevilla might be looking at a new manager pretty soon here. But yeah, it's looking pretty exciting in Barcelona Madrid rivalry. Kind of a new look for everybody. Tchouaméni didn't have a great game for Madrid. You're seeing little growing pains in Madrid. Madrid team. October 16th is El Clasico, by the way. October 16th. I think that's a Saturday or Sunday.
It's a huge day for football too, because there's a There's a couple other big fixtures that day. I forget what they are. I know it's a Clasico.
Liverpool City, maybe, or I think.
Oh, it's gonna drive me crazy now. Let me find it.
Lewa's the best in the world. Yeah, maybe.
Liverpool City, El Clasico, and then Berlin Dortmund are that day, and then PSG Marseille. That's the other one.
PSG Marseille. Yeah, a lot of good matches coming up, and Inter for Barcelona tomorrow. In the Champions League, that'll be good. Inter, we'll talk Serie A in a second as well. But Madrid have who do they have? Shakhtar tomorrow, so they should be all right there.
Ooh, don't sleep on Shakhtar.
Yeah. You want to talk some Serie A, Milo?
Yeah, man. I'm ready to go.
Speaking of Inter Milan, right?
Exactly. Yeah, good segue there. Yeah, so another good weekend in Serie A, to be honest. I had a very, very busy weekend because I was involved in a 24-hour endurance race. So it was an absolute crap show, but I managed to catch up on Serie A action today. So, yeah, Milan, the Rafael Leao show continues. An assist and a goal. Great free kick from Empoli to equalise in this game, but Ballo-Touré made it 2-1 and with a nice goal, and then a solo goal for Leao, and Milan fifth in the table, 3 points off top spot. It's so tight after 8 games. It's so good to watch. It really is. I'm so intrigued to see where the season's going to go in Serie A. Lazio, another impressive performance for them. 4-0 win, dominant win, despite an awful penalty from Immobile. I don't know if you've seen it, but Rosed. Yeah, they played some really good football in that game as well. I watched like the extended highlights for it, and they looked really strong. 4th in the table, tied with Milan on 17 points. Atalanta's unbeaten start continues. So 2nd in the table to Napoli on goal difference. Lookman with another goal. So 1-0 win. Tight game, but yeah, they've had a much better start, I think, than people thought they would. Napoli 3-1 win. 2 goals for the Cameroonian guy whose name I can't say.
Zambo
Anguissa.
Zambo, yeah. yeah. Let's just say Zambo, yeah. Yeah, 2 goals in 6 minutes from him. And then, the golden boy, Kvaratskhelia. I don't know. That's how I'm saying it now. So he made it 3.
Like K86 or something like that, whatever his number is I think.
Yeah. The Georgian I don't know, what should we call him? The Georgian Nicolas Pepe? No.
That's an insult. That's an insult.
Yeah.
The Georgian Anders Limpar. No, anyway, that's going too far
Georgian.
back.
I think
The Georgian. Sure, yeah, there you go.
How many teams can you name?
Yeah. Elsewhere, Udinese last-minute goal from Biol to beat Verona, so they remain third in the table. They've won 6 straight as well, so Udinese in the mix. Serie A is shaping up to be crazy. Roma with a massive win over Inter as well, which scrappy opener for Dzeko was ruled offside. He's still doing his thing. They equalised with Dybala with a lovely volley, actually. Yeah, nice goal from Dybala. So, cultured left foot will be happy about that.
See,
6th in the table.
Jose Mourinho was watching that from the tour bus. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
He had a red card ban.
He had a van outside.
Oh, that's right, because it was red card in the previous game. Before the
Yeah,
international break.
I saw
He did an Instagram story about him watching. Yeah.
There was I don't know if it was his Instagram story or if it was like the club released it, but basically he was in the van. Well, no, he released him in the van on his Instagram story, but there was another release after that of what it was the van actually didn't have the TV feed. It was somebody had their phone on the outside, like it was like an intern or whatever, was on the outside behind the van, and they had a cable going from his phone into the TV.
Oh, that's funny.
So they had an intern like parked behind the bus, like holding his phone, streaming the match.
Wow,
very
That's
funny.
great.
They Chris Smalling got the winner in that game as well.
Smaldini.
So, yeah, he rose to head home from a free kick. Roma 6th in the table, 1 point behind Milan and Lazio. Inter languishing in 9th. I mean, it's still so tight. They're not that far behind. But it's amazing that, 1st through 10th in Serie A are separated by 3-4 points. It's going to be a crazy season if it carries on like this. Juve got a much-needed 3 points as well. They got a 3-0 win. Goals from Kostic, Vlahovic, and Milit. So, I mean, I thought it was another great week in Serie A. I'm not watching La Liga. I'm not watching Bundesliga. I'm relying on you guys for that. And Serie A is just, it's good fun.
The Milan Empoli game, the end of that, I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah.
That was wild.
Yeah.
That was what it was.
That game
1-0,
was a lot of fun.
92nd minute. Milan's up 1-0, and then Empoli has a free kick outside the box. 92nd minute, they score 1-1. Then Milan goes, and that's the huge celebrations, whatever. They're going to the fans, everything. And then now it's like 95th minute. Then Rafael Leao, or they go right back down, and Balotore, I think the new signing, or he scores, and then Rafael Leao scores a nice chip. It was pretty wild. It was all in the span of like 4 minutes or something. It was crazy.
Yeah, I had the goals down. I never even looked at the time that the goals went in. I was just watching the highlights for that one. And
That Torre goal, by the way, was
popped up.
That was like 300 IQ from Rafael Leao. I don't know if you saw it, but the Empoli had pushed the ball out for a throw-in, and Leao just ran probably 30 yards behind the back line. He's just waving his arms, and the guy sees it and just hurls it over everybody, and he just has a dead sprint towards goal.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's funny to watch the kickoffs when they need a goal, by the way. Yeah, I don't know. It's like it looks like an NFL kickoff. Like everyone's on the midfield line and like one person's back. It's just like it's pretty funny.
I'm with Milo. Like in my opinion, I think Serie A is probably the most entertaining league to watch this year. I think Premier League, you get a little bit more predictability from it, but Serie A is any man's race right now. But Rafael Leao right now is my favorite player in the world to watch. Like him on AC Milan. He is fun. It's not fair. Like he's up there with Haaland in terms of it's not fair that a player has everything, like his size, his stature, his ability on the ball, his vision. Like he has everything, and I don't think he gets enough credit because he does play in Serie A.
I do. I think that's a big part of it, though. I think that the style of Serie A is such that it's all about matchups and stuff, And Rafael Leao is such a tough matchup for a lot of those Serie A defenders and defensive lines. And
I think
they always get the space. They always, those wingers get the room to operate in Serie A because it's not like super end to end all the time.
Well, he moves around though, right? Like he plays in the midfield. He's played up front when when Abraham's out, like he's a very versatile player.
Or yeah, Giroud, yeah.
I think Real Madrid will go in for him.
Put him
Should.
opposite of Vinny Jr.
Maybe. Yeah, I just have a feeling they're gonna swoop in for him. It will be Rafael Leao at Real.
Oh, there we
It's
go.
gonna be a real mouthful.
The layout at Real.
Yeah.
Before
Sounds like a
we get
rumble
to
in jungle.
before we go to Germany real quick, did you see the PSG Messi's kick from the ground or whatever?
did
Did you
not.
see that?
I did
The
not.
His
pass.
through pass?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
pretty neat.
Oh, I
He's
heard it.
a really good player. He's really good at football.
Mm.
Messi, that guy. He's pretty good. Maybe not the GOAT or whatever they're saying. People.
It's
you
easy
seen
to
that
do when
ad-
you're playing against school teachers.
They have GOAT branded on their jerseys. PSG.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's on the ad boards and everything.
And on the ad boards.
Yep.
Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. All right. Bundesliga. You want to talk a little about Bayern's game, Michael, and then, or how about this? Let's go through some of the other results, and then we'll talk about Bayern last.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Actually, before Bundesliga, because I know,
Sure.
as far as I know, we've never talked about this league on the show, but there's 5 games left in the season. The Argentine league,
Oh yeah.
from first, who is Boca, to 12th place, there's 11 points separating them.
Mm-hmm.
5
It
games
is
left.
crazy tight,
Yeah.
and there's 5 games left. Actually, all the way down to 14th is 12 points. So,
Yep.
like, it's crazy tight. It should be a good run in. I've been watching a little more of it when I can, but it's because their times are a little closer to our time zone, or my time zone, I guess. Anyways, I just wanted to plug that league before we got into the Bundesliga.
Speaking of which, there's a lot of leagues that are going to be finishing up, and it's going to be like their summer post-league World Cup, so which is nice to see.
MLS is in there.
MLS is in there. There's a couple. I think one of the Brazilian leagues. I think
I
Mexico.
think most
A lot
American
of-
leagues, I think, North and South.
Yeah.
Is it just a hemisphere thing? Like most Southern Hemisphere
so.
team? Okay, yeah. Anyways, yeah, I saw that Argentinian league. I think Boca's top right now, right? I think.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not by much though.
No.
To Hoff's point, that's a very, very competitive league. And if you ever do get to watch one of those matches, like make sure your volume's turned up because you're not gonna be able to hear the announcers over the fans most of the time. It's a very, very loud league.
Yeah. All right, some Bundesliga.
All right. Excuse me. Bundesliga. Union, the dream is still alive, but they lost their first match of the season. Eintracht beat them 2-0. Mario Götze scored and got hurt, so hopefully he doesn't play tomorrow. I hope he's okay. I just hope he doesn't play tomorrow. And Freiburg beat Mainz, so Freiburg and Union are level on points. Union are top on goal difference. And let's see, we've got Dortmund lost to Köln. That was a crazy game. Dortmund kind of threw on that one, in my opinion, which they've done a couple times this year, but they're still up there and level with Bayern for this weekend. Bremen absolutely hammered Gladbach. I'm really enjoying seeing Bremen back in the Bundesliga and playing some really nice stuff overall. And I've always had a thing for their color scheme, like that green and orange. Bremen kits have always been top 10 for me. Leipzig 4-0 over Bochum, and Nkunku and Werner both scored 2. And just a little note, I don't know if it's been confirmed, but Nkunku's been rumored, I think, to be going to Chelsea next summer, and they're still and Chelsea are also trying to finalize a Gvardiol deal as well, which
that means that happened that means that happened while Tuchel was in charge.
Yeah.
Right.
They
they said that he's already done his medical, which is really, really weird. because
that is
he had to be
that.
in London to do his medical. So the timeline on it is kind of in the gray area as well.
Yeah.
Maybe they're doing
Because
like
he
some
has a release
cloning
clause.
thing. They got to get his stem cells. You know, they got to.
He has I think it's 60 million euro release clause.
Yeah, it's
so it's
for,
very
for how
affordable.
good that's pretty reasonable for how well he's been playing the past 2 years.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's Conte's successor, as like that really, like he can play. He's a Swiss Army knife player. He can play anywhere.
Yeah.
But I think slotting him in there kind of does a job. So
that'd be wild. He seems very offensive to do that job.
He plays. He's even played right back for them. So he's playing.
Yeah, he can literally play everywhere.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think he hasn't played goalkeeper because they haven't needed him to, but he probably could.
Well, that and he's 5'1" or something.
Well,
like that.
But those are the big results. So yeah, Bayern
Munich 4-0. They played Friday, I think, right? I love how they do that. I love how it's like I think Serie A does that and Germany does that. They play on Friday when they got Champions League the next week. It's like, why not? Just do that all the time, man. You know? So considerate. You know? That's why United didn't win so many Champions League, because the FA. Just so you know.
Is Jurgen Klopp hosting now?
All right, Bayern Munich. What happened during the game? Was it a good game? Was it easy? I don't know.
Am I taking the lead on this one?
Go ahead.
You're the Bayern correspondent.
It's against. We're hosting Leverkusen. Yes, it's the Bavarian matchup, but Leverkusen's just not a solid team right now. I had high hopes for them, but they're nicknamed Neverkusen for a reason. They're just they're Vert's still being out of that team. It kind of hurts them. They just don't have a lineup really to compete with a team like Bayern right now, unfortunately. Diaby's a superstar, and I'll be really surprised if he's at that team after this winter window. But Hudson-Odoi looked like he had no business being on the field. Frimpong looked lost. So I think it's more just Leverkusen looked awful than Bayern looked good. Like we had obviously scored 4 goals, and we had flashes in the pan. But I honestly, we could have even scored probably 6 or 7 in this game. So there was more things for me to be taking away in the negative side than a positive side, which is not something you want to do in a 4-0 win. But this easily should have been a lot bigger scoreline. But I'm happy that our back line looked really, really good as a unit in this game. We did manage to give up a couple decent scoring opportunities, but Neuer was back there being the rock that we're used to. And Davies looked like his old school self of he can be as far forward and then still catch anybody and track back. So I'm not a big fan though of Muller starting up at striker. So I think we're still trying to figure out what that front attacking diamond really looks like with the likes of Muller, Mane, Sane, and Musiala. It's kind of like a weird rotating what's the word, not rhombus, but the parallelogram or whatever. It's just a weird circle of squaring, and I don't know. I think we're still trying to figure out the chemistry. I think the only thing right now that we've
kaleidoscope football.
There we go.
Nice.
Thank you. Our back four is cemented, which I hate because I think Pavard's garbage and we need to fix our right back positioning. But Kimmich still probably the best holding midfielder in the world, in my opinion. Not biased at all, by the way. Sabitzer's kind of hit or miss for me. I would want to see Gravenberch getting a couple more starts there, and I know he's been complaining about time too, so that'll be something to take away from this. But overall, I'm at probably like a 75 out of 100 on this win. It's a win, and it's a good time to win considering what we had the week before. But how did
Mane look?
Mane, he scored a goal. It was a deflected goal. He also had one called off for offsides as well. So he's fitting in. I think that he's not going to get the production that everybody immediately thought he was, especially given his preseason performances and then early season performances. But I think he's fitting into the role that he needs. I think his role is going to be allowing Muller and Musiala and Sane or Coleman or Gnabry more time. I think it just gives us a lot more depth in a rotating kind of way that we can use a lot more talent on the field, rather than him being a immediate replacement for Lewandowski's goal mark, which everybody thought he was. So I think we're expecting more goals from other players, which is what we're getting so far. And this game shows it when we had 4 different goal scorers. So
Nice.
I saw that there were that Kimmich and I think it was Muller had some positive COVID tests. Are they going to play
Oh, that's
in the
right.
Champions League?
they haven't said yet, because Goretzka and Neuer had it.
Okay.
And it funny enough, they apparently, I think there was a report that they got it because they went to a Oktoberfest party together or something like that. And so that, this being the Bavarian matchup,
Right.
kind of falls in line with that event. So I think a lot of the players have been instructed to, unfortunately, forego the festivities
Yeah.
that they usually would partake in. So
Okay.
I don't think they will, if I'm being honest.
I mean,
but I haven't seen
it's
further details of it
Pilsen,
yet.
so
Yeah.
not like they'll be necessary.
Right. But I haven't seen they haven't released further details that I've seen yet.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but I don't expect them to.
Nice.
They haven't been in training. They weren't in training today.
Okay.
But it's Monday after a weekend, so
They could use a
grain of
little
salt.
break, Why not?
Yeah.
Their goal difference is like something like 17. I was looking at the table
Mm-hmm.
the other day. It's like crazy.
Yeah, plus
Yeah.
17. But that means, I mean, if Muller's out and Kimmich is out, that does mean Gravenberch gets in, and then maybe we get to see a new rotation at striker too. So not the
Ryan
end
and
of the
Tell.
world.
Oh yeah, Tell. That's the young
Mm-hmm.
up and coming kid, right? Tell.
Yeah, and he's looked great for us as he's played. So
Nice. Cool. Shall we move on to some games in that case? Let's play some games,
Sure.
man. How about a bit of categories? I got a category.
Oh boy.
All
Are
right.
you guys ready?
let me get a pen.
Yeah,
Pause.
you
I'll
gotta
be
get a
right back.
pen. Maybe a paper.
I
Chat,
need
you
to
can
come
play
up
along.
with some categories for one of
Guys, you
these.
can close your chats shortly. I don't think anyone in chat. Well, maybe. Okay, in front of me, I have the top 15. Actually, let me check if there's any ties. If there's ties,
I'm
I'm.
gonna close my categories just in case.
Okay.
we have the same one.
I have the
Imagine
top
that.
16.
Right.
I have the top 16 all-time leading assisters in the World Cup.
Oh, gosh.
Ooh.
So the lowest one has 5. There's 16 total.
What's the highest? Can you tell me?
The highest is 8.
8.
That's a
Wow.
small window.
It's
Yeah,
a very small window.
16
Let
players.
me just don't look at chat, guys. Please don't look at chat. Let me just see that out of the 16, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 I haven't heard of. Really.
That's positive.
So I'm just saying, like, they're all somewhat recent. I'll say post 2000. A lot of these guys have played. That's a big clue. There's only 16 names here. I'll try to give one more clue here. Actually, I can't really give another clue. There's not really much else I can do. But yeah, it's a tough one. It is a tough one. I think we'll see. I'm tempted to give everyone a freebie, and that means like go to the next round freebie type of thing. Like you don't have to answer twice. Yeah, this is a tough one. This is actually a really tough one. Sorry, guys.
I have some names in my head, but it's
Like, I
also
can
some of the
see
names I'm thinking of are players that aren't.
I've got a list going.
Maybe
I
at
don't know if any of
Nations.
them are right.
Okay.
I mean, I've got
Okay.
a list going.
All right,
This
who
is
wants
of
to go
all time, right?
first?
You didn't put an arrow on it.
I didn't put an error on it. No, there's a historical all-time most assists in World Cup. Okay, so I will. It sounds like Milo's ready. So we'll go Milo, Hoff in that order. Michael. Milo, do you have a name?
Maradona.
Maradona is number 1 on the list with 8 assists. In 21 matches played, that's 1,800
Only
minutes
21.
played. 1,800 minutes. 1,878 minutes. Very nice.
And
Milo.
1 goal that England fans want to forget.
There you go. HoffSpur. Do we have an answer?
Man. I'm torn between, because I know who scored the goals. I'm trying to think of who provided the assists. And I have 2 players written down that could have done it. And they both may be on this list for all I know. All right, I'm going to say Mykal Ballack.
Mykal Ballack is... Sorry, I was just putting a banner down there. Is correct.
Yes.
Really?
Mykal Ballack had 5 in 11 games.
I joke you not. I don't know if you can see this off, but he's literally on his next name.
Oh, no.
I mean, when you
no.
have the leading scorer on your team,
Yeah.
someone had to make those assists.
Uh-oh,
Damn,
Michael.
okay.
They've taken both of your guesses.
I think one of them is. I'm gonna say. Andre Pirlo.
That's a great guess.
That is a good
He
guess.
is not on the list.
Oh, wow.
He is not. I'm trying to find him. There's a lot of people with 4. He's not. He's just not on the list. He's not in the
Really?
top 16.
Wow.
Tough one. Tough one. If Milo and Hoff get these both wrong and you think of one, you're back in it or something like that, you know? Milo, do you have another name?
Ronaldinho.
Ronaldinho
That's a good one.
is not on the list.
Wow.
He's not on the list.
Whoa.
I don't know how many he has because I don't want to flip through pages here, but he is not on the list. I forgot to give a clue. I was going to give a clue before you said that.
I have 2 more names in mind. Oh,
Hoff.
I don't know why I didn't think of these the first time.
Do you have a name? Give me the name.
Oh, again, I'm torn between 2 again. Damn it. Iniesta.
Damn it, he's my next one.
Andres Iniesta is not on the list.
Whoa, that means we're all back in, right?
Everyone's back in. Michael, you're back in too. Everyone's in.
So my next name, I literally had him written next to Iniesta, was Xavi.
Xavi is not on the list either.
Ooh,
Oh my goodness.
we're on the struggle
Okay,
bus.
before you go again, so far we have Maradona and Ballack. There are at least one more countryman from each of those. Okay?
Okay.
I will say this
Oh,
as
that-
well.
Okay.
There is a Colombian.
Ooh.
There is 2 Brazilians.
Okay.
There's 1 Englishman. And yeah, then there's more Germans and more Argentinians. And I don't know where these other guys are from, to be honest. I think
So are we
Germany.
counting Xavi as my guess, or now that this is out there, I'm back in?
You're back in. Milo's up next. If they both get it
Okay.
wrong, yeah, yes. Yeah.
I am gonna go for Mesut Ozil.
Ooh, Mesut Ozil's not in the top 16. He has 4 though. He doesn't have 5.
Oh.
I think I know
Ozil's.
the Germans.
Oh, I saw Ozil on the next page. He is on the list. He has 4. Hoff, do you have a name?
Lionel Messi.
Messi is correct. He has 5.
Yeah.
Had to be Messi. Yeah,
Messi is
I
correct.
thought
There
of him more as a
there
goal scorer
is
than assist, but-
one more Argentinian on the list.
Ooh.
Just so you know.
I think I know
That's a
who it
hard
is.
one.
And there are 1, 2 more Germans. Or well, actually, technically, it looks like 3. Can I give the old ones away? I'm gonna give you the old ones.
Wait,
Litbarski.
how old? Oh yeah, you can give them away.
Litbarski, G. Lato. Sorry if these guys are famous. And
Gelato?
T. Hassler.
Thomas
I think. Oh,
Hassler.
it must be East
Yeah.
and West Germany. That's what I'm looking at. Yeah.
Thomas Hassler was a great little player. I was staying at Culture Leffe. He's the first player I signed on Championship Manager 2 back in.
Oh, nice.
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 He was a
So
little
he had
winger
6.
for Germany, West Germany.
Okay. But yeah, any
So
other guesses?
That's all the German players then?
No. There's two. There's still 2 Germans left on this.
I
list.
was thinking Schweinsteiger.
Schweinsteiger's correct. He had 6
Nice.
6 assists.
Nice one.
Schweinsteiger.
So I'm
All
out.
right.
Oh, no, I'm out.
No. So now everyone's back in. It's all balanced because Michael got that one right. Everyone's balanced.
I used my
now.
free life.
This will be the final
Milo.
round though, because I know Hoff's got
Okay.
one probably. Okay, there we go. So I think it's back to Milo, right?
Milo,
Or no?
Milo, yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for the Englishman because why not? Just for shits and giggles. I'm gonna guess David Beckham.
That is correct.
Nice.
David
Yes.
Beckham,
Yeah. there we
golden
go.
balls himself.
It had to be. It had to be.
The man that popularized the sport in America. one of the many. One of the few, actually, early. Anyways.
I'm gonna take a stab at the. You said there was one Argentine remaining.
There is one Argentinian remaining.
All right, I'm gonna take a stab. Is it Juan Sebastian Veron?
It is Juan Sebastian
good
Veron.
one.
Wow.
Wow,
Great one.
I
he
thought
has
he was
5.
way too defensive for that.
Nah, he has 5. He has 5. I'm trying to see in chat if anyone has any other ones correct.
Is Philip Lahm the other German?
I had Lahm written
He's
down.
not.
Oh man.
Interesting.
He's
What
not.
about, Cuadrado's the Colombian?
Yeah, Cuadrado's the Colombian, but we still have 2 people in here. We still have 2 people in.
I thought we were just opening it. Sorry.
All good.
My fault.
So this is now we're on to the final round here. Milo and Hoff with sudden death now, basically. Well, actually, not really, but this is the final round. Let me just go over. Let me get an overview of the clues. We have I don't know if I mentioned this. We have 1 Italian left.
Oh, okay.
1 Brazilian left. 1 German left. I'm gonna say this guy's name because I don't know who he is. Gadocha. His picture's old. Oh, sorry. We have 2 Brazilians left.
Ooh.
So 2 Brazilians, 1 Italian, and 1 more German. And I'll say this: it was a West or East Germany because the logo's different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's up?
Milo's up. You're up.
That's me.
That's you. Yeah. So basically 3 Germans left.
Okay.
No. 2 Germans. Sorry. Go ahead. Doesn't matter.
Christ.
Balak was the first one. I forgot. Never mind.
I'm gonna take a stab at the Italian, and it's between 2 Italians. I'm gonna go with Francesco Totti.
Oh, Francesco Totti is correct.
Yes.
6 assists in 11 matches in 760. That looks like the highest rate here, by the way. 769 minutes, 6 assists. That's pretty crazy. 11 matches. Very nice, very nice.
God, that's crazy.
Totti. All right. Doing pretty good, guys. All right, Hoff.
All right. Jeez, I don't.
So 2 Germans.
Kaká for the Brazilian.
No, it's not Kaká.
Oh, I had Kaká written down as well.
Milo takes the points.
Nice.
All right, who's the most famous Brazilian of all time?
R9.
Pele.
Pele. And then we had a current German international, very old. He was up for Golden Boot.
Muller.
And his namesake.
Andreas Muller?
No, it's so Muller's one. Thomas Muller's one.
Okay.
And Gerd Muller's the other. Gerd Muller.
Gerd Muller. Okay.
Yeah. The other Brazilian was 4 letters. Another 4-letter.
Cafu?
This guy's older. This guy's a little older.
Zico.
Zico is correct.
Oh,
Zico's
nice.
correct. Very nice, guys. That's all of them.
All right.
Yeah, I probably would have got to
It's a tough
Zico
one.
eventually, but I would have gone through some other Brazilians first.
Yeah,
You don't really remember the
so
sisters,
many.
do you?
Yeah.
So many. Hey, Culture, thank you for the subscription, by the way. Welcome.
That was a good category, man. I like that one.
Yeah, it's a nice trip through memory lane, you know? Whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Tripping through time.
Tripping through time.
Do you have one, Hoff, you want to do?
I do.
Okay, Ronaldinho had 4, by the way. These are all the guys on the cusp.
okay.
Kaká had 4, Figo had 4, Cuauhtemoc Blanco had 4, Eden Hazard has 4, Valderrama has 4, Hadji has 4,
wow.
Bergkamp 4, Bebeto 4. Just quickly, more 4s. Ozil 4, R9 4, Cafu 4. There you go. So a lot of those guys you guys had as well. Alrighty.
All right.
Let me close chat.
Oh,
There we go.
Get ready. All right. We are going to do, in honor of Gonzalo Higuain announcing his retirement at the end of this season, we are going to do players with 75 or more caps for Argentina. And there's 16 of them.
I'm at a disadvantage here. I don't follow this nation hardly as much as I should.
No, me neither. I'm just brainstorming.
And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 current active players.
And that doesn't mean necessarily in the team, right? That just means they're currently active.
Yeah, they're playing.
They're playing
somewhere in the world. Yeah, for a club somewhere.
Is it
Okay.
5?
What's that?
5 current active players?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep.
It's a lot.
Some are, yeah.
Mm,
Those are the only hints I can give right now.
not him. Okay, I got some names. Not very confident on many of them.
Same. I got some. Who's going to get the freebie?
I'll take the freebie. No. We got to figure out a way to do the freebie. Pick a number 1 through 10 or something, or 30, or 50. You got one, Huff?
I do.
27.
I'm gonna write it down. That's not 1 through 10.
Oh, I thought you 1 through 1 through 50. Wait, what are you doing? 1 through 10? Okay.
I thought you said 1 through 10. Sorry.
I feel like we need a bigger range.
Okay, 1 through 20.
Okay, there we go. 13.
13. Your number, Michael?
6.
6. Milo?
8.
8.
Ooh,
13 is the winner. My number was 17. Oh,
Let's go, Lionel Messi.
Lionel Messi is correct. Number 1 with 164 caps.
Jesus.
Impressive.
Padding the stats, man. Padding
Yep.
the stats.
Surely he won't get to 200 though.
You
That's
never
a
know.
lot of
You
matches.
never know.
That wasn't even the gimme that I thought you were gonna go for.
Oh. Oh, I forgot about that guy. Yeah.
So I guess there's 2 gimmies, but
Okay, so Michael's up.
Michael's next, yeah.
so we'll say Maradona then.
Maradona is
Maradona.
11th with 90. He only had
Oh,
90
wow.
caps. Also not the
Interesting.
gimme that I was thinking of.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
All right, now that
Yeah.
we've
Wait,
got
does
those
Higuain
two
count?
players-
What? Yeah, he's on the list.
Oh,
Well,
wait,
there you go.
Oh, come on. No. Hold on.
Higuain.
Oh,
I
my
believe it's
God.
my turn.
All right, Higuain.
Okay. Alright. I didn't even write him down because I thought it was the category based around.
Angel
He
Di
has
Maria.
75. He was the baseline.
Okay.
Di Maria, number 4 with 123.
Jeez, that one made me a little nervous. All these make me nervous.
Di Maria, well done. Yeah.
My next
Angel
one makes
Di
me really
Maria.
nervous. I'm gonna say Otamendi.
Otamendi, number 10 with 92.
Oh, Otamendi, I didn't even think about him.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, I will go with Batistuta.
Batistuta, number 13 with 78. That's correct.
There we go.
Ooh,
That's a good one.
tight. I will go with the one of my goats, Juan Roman Riquelme.
I had him on my list.
Don't do that! Don't make that face.
He does not have 75 caps for Argentina. He's one of my goats too. I was surprised he wasn't on here.
I put a question mark by him on my list. 'cause I wasn't
Unbelievable.
sure. 75.
This is corruption. This is corruption. My whole life is a lie.
Okay. So
He
somebody that
only
we
had 51 caps for Argentina.
Yeah, they didn't appreciate him.
They didn't.
They didn't
played in a
appreciate
really,
him.
really popular position, to be fair.
That's true. That's true.
Unbelievable. I have so many other names though. Whatever. I just want,
My next one's somebody that we've already mentioned, but I'm gonna go Veron.
Varane is not correct.
Oh.
He is not
Wow.
on the list.
Oh,
Okay.
can I win it then?
yeah, you should
Yeah.
win it.
I got so many names to choose from.
Varane has
Yeah,
72.
kinda
Oh, so close. So close. So close.
Oh.
Zanetti.
That was.
Zanetti's number 3 with 145.
Yes.
Forgot about
Look at
Zanetti.
this.
The
Is
win,
Zabal-
the double
GG.
win tonight.
Is Zabaleta on the list? No. probably not.
Zabaleta is not on the list.
Okay.
But Paulo Dybala. I know he's
Dybala
close.
is not on the list.
Mascherano?
Mascherano's number 2, 147.
I should have just said
Is-
Mascherano.
Is Gabriel Heinze on there?
Heinze is not on there.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ayala?
Ayala's number 5. Yep, 160.
God, I should have said. What did I say?
What about
Sorin?
Aguero?
Aguero's number 7, 101.
Ah,
No
Guerrero.
one said Aguero.
Who's the?
Sorin is 15 with 76.
Ozzy
Oh,
Ardiles.
man.
Ozzy's not on there. I wish
How
he
about
was, but he's not.
Abodan Zigeri or whatever?
Oh, no,
Abodan's
he's not on there.
the goalkeeper? Oh.
So-
actually, the only I'm not sure what Oscar Ruggeri. I don't know what position he played, but the only goalkeeper I recognize is Cart's favorite, Sergio Romero.
Oh, he.
96 for him. So he'll
Love that
probably hit
guy.
it this World Cup.
Is he the other active
The-
player that we're talking about?
DePaul?
Romero, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
No, probably not.
The only ones we didn't name, 2 are managing.
Lavezzi?
Nope.
No. Okay.
One is one Diego Simeone.
Oh, of course.
Simeone.
Let's see if Chad had it.
and
Oh, LB. Thank you for the raid.
Who else we have?
Romero.
Let's see. We have.
Oh,
no
Cultured
one
had a
mentioned
list.
Oh.
Ayala? Ayala, you said, right?
Yeah, we got Ayala. I think we got all of his.
Riquelme
we
wasn't
got all
on
of
there.
his.
No goalkeepers on the list?
Just
Sergio
Romero.
Romero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, good in-shot.
The only two we had remaining after all the other ones, Ariel Ortega with 88.
Ariel Ortega. What a great player.
And number 14 with 76, El Apache, Carlitos Tevez.
Oh, man.
Tevez,
See, this is all because the media marketing business, man. You know, I honestly feel lied to about Riquelme. Something's wrong now. Something's off. Something's off. Guys, we're right at that time though.
Yeah.
Milo, do you want to cue it up?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've got it already. I'm ready to go.
Oh, really?
Wait.
Okay, go for
what
it.
am I queuing up?
The dad joke.
Oh, I can wait if you want to do the plugs and stuff first.
Yeah, well, guys, anything? Oh, look at that, a dad joke.
My wife got it for me before our son was born. I noticed it on my bookshelf. I forgot about it, and I was like, "This is great." It's great reading.
Yeah, Hoff, anything you want to plug? Follow him on Twitter, guys. Check the description, the YouTube.
I'm mentally preparing myself. I've been playing a lot of FIFA lately.
Nice.
I'm getting through it. I'm starting to enjoy the finer aspects of it if you can find them. Basically, the market on Ultimate Team.
I just want to say one thing. Just because I'm a big PES fan doesn't mean you have to, be afraid of playing FIFA, okay?
I wasn't
gonna
saying
bite.
that to you.
I don't care if anyone plays FIFA, okay? I
just
care.
didn't want chat to devolve into a PES sucks. FIFA
Chat's
sucks,
mature.
PES sucks.
Other than the City fans, they're all mature. Don't worry. They're all fine.
So yeah, I've been playing some FIFA. I'm probably gonna end up streaming some of it. I started streaming a McLaren F1 manager save as well. And I'm keeping Daniel Ricciardo as long as I can because I love him.
Nice.
So yeah, basically I'm just kind of mentally preparing myself, getting ready for Football Manager.
Nice.
They had the features reveal. So yeah, it's the content for it. Is starting to trickle out, and it'll be here soon. It's normally a late October, early November release. So yeah, it's gonna be here before we know it.
Nice. Michael, anything you want to
Cultured. Yes.
Anything you want to plug, Michael?
No, I'm just gonna be streaming a lot of F1 Manager. Same thing as Hoff, basically.
Sounds good.
Anything new that kind of comes out between now and then.
We gotta find time to talk some F1 then. All you guys are F1 guys. I'm probably the least F1, but I still admire F1 from a distance.
Yeah, the race this weekend was a very eventful one to get into.
Cultured was there.
Oh really?
Nice.
In the flesh.
Nice.
Yeah,
You
I'm
know?
jealous of that. It was
He's waterlogged.
yeah, it was a very good race to watch. A lot of
I kind of agree with the sentiment though about why the race couldn't have started under a safety car on full wets. Let them continue. Let them pit for inters.
Yeah.
There's a reason we have a full wet tire. So for me, starting the race on waiting and starting on inters, I'm not sure I agree with that.
They did the same thing at Monaco, remember?
They did, and I'm not a massive fan of that because I know you wanted the grid start Cultured for sure, and I totally get that. I've been to a lot of races in my life, so not just F1, any race you go to, the start is one of the best bits. Doesn't matter what the discipline is, even go-karts. Yeah. So like, I totally respect that side of it, but I still think we have full wets for a reason, guys.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? That's a different compound. It's a different thing for the car to be tested on. It's a different thing for the driver to be tested on. I don't know. I just thought that was a little weird, but yeah, it was a good Grand Prix though. Very entertaining. Very entertaining.
Yeah.
So yeah, F1 streams on Michael's page as well as F1 Football Manager soon.
Yeah. When Football Manager does release everything, I think it's going to be probably right before the World Cup. If I'm in my head, I think is what they'll do. But I'll be streaming the beta, doing a lot of my tactic testing. I got a lot of people wanting to see how my crazy mind works when it comes to developing tactics. So I'll be doing a lot of tactics deep dives and kind of playing around with that, and then that'll take over the stream. So
very nice. Milo, what's coming up on the
Yeah, so I had a busy weekend. I had a 24-hour endurance race I was part of. We finished 5th in class. It was up against the esport guys were in the pro class. I had fast teammates, and we were in the lower tier, like on track with them, and just seeing how fast those guys are in comparison to us, and we're not slow. If you've seen my lap times, I'm not slow, but these guys are insane. So it was kind of cool. I think some of them drive like dicks, to be honest with you, and that's the second race I've been in like that. I was in a Silverstone 10-hour last year where they show very little racecraft around people that they're going around, which I was a little surprised about. And I was talking to one of them after, and he said, yeah, unfortunately it's like that in every single league race. So that they do. We have a lot more racecraft in our community that I race with that I'm trying to hook cartwheel in. Anyway,
did you learn
doing that?
Watching those guys race, those esports guys, do you like take anything away? Is there anything to learn from them, or is it like?
Yeah, there is. There's a few things. There's a few things I'm going to work. A lot of it is car. We were in a car that's been nerfed by Kunos recently. It was nerfed after the race selection and qualifying was done, so we couldn't change car, right? So the developer went in and nerfed the BMW a little bit and gave the Aston a boost. They're always doing what they call a BOP. It's a balance of performance. So it's supposed to balance it all out, but it doesn't work. So some cars will be stronger at certain tracks, and unfortunately the Beamer was not very strong at Kielami after what they did. So it like literally I'd have an Aston come up behind and I want to get a bit of a tow. The Aston got a buff, right? So it's super quick, and I was taking the right line to get a really good exit behind it and just follow it all the way down the hill. And just about halfway down the hill, the Aston would just pull away, and it doesn't usually work like that in GT racing. So it was very demoralizing to know that you got a great exit and you were right behind them for like, half a kilometer, and then just you see the top end difference of the cars. That's where that difference is, and it only needs to be 1 or 2 kilometers an hour for it to really show it, especially over the course of 24 hours, right? Yeah. If over a 1 hour race, it might not have been such a bad car, but yeah. So we we had fun, and it's a good laugh. A couple of people streamed it. I chose to just drive and enjoy it and just have the banter, and it was good, man. It was good. But apart from that, I've got F1 Manager. Obviously, I'm deep into season 2. I'm halfway through season 2 with McLaren, with George and Lando. We are fighting for 3rd in the constructors. It's been a really good. It's been really good fun so far. We've had a great turnout for every race once I get going, and I've really been enjoying it. So I think I sent a raid over to Michael one night last week or 2 weeks ago. I forget when that was. Yeah, no worries. Anyone that streams late, Cartwheel knows as well. Like, you sort of go down the list looking for who's up late or early.
That's me on the Pacific Coast.
Apart from that, right now I'm playing Days Gone, and obviously I'm looking forward to NHL. I'm looking forward to FM 23. I'm looking forward to all of those. I'm looking forward to Modern Warfare 2. I'll probably play that a bit as well. A bit more Warzone 2. Get a squad together some nights on that, I think.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, lots of different things coming up as always.
Nice.
Before the dad joke, real quick, I'm hearing, and I'm getting the sense, and I know we've mentioned it before, but there's gonna be an FM 23 network save here. I'm feeling it.
So.
I'm feeling it,
dude. Let's do it. That's why I want it. Like, I asked Cultured, I think last year, is it possible? He said it is. It's difficult with the time difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. Yeah. We all have to be on at the same time, right? That's the thing.
I don't know. That we're gonna look into.
So.
But yeah, everybody has to be on at the same time. Like, you have to be logged into the server.
And I agree with like Culture said there. If we can all commit to a day or a time or whatever, then I think I would love to do that, guys. That would be huge for me. I'd love to do that.
I will say though that network saves are they're a ton of fun, but you narrow down how many games you're getting through in a network saves. Whereas like if you're just playing by yourself, you could probably get through, you know, a quarter of a season in a night stream. But if you're doing a network save, you're looking at maybe 3 weekends, you know, on a good pace. So, but it's great content. It's a lot of fun just kind of hanging out with the guys and you know trying to snipe players from your your buddy.
I don't even mind if it's a one season long, like one season is like 1-to-1 season. I'd do whatever. I think it would be great. Yeah.
Okay. Whew. Well, I think I'll just mention I haven't been streaming much lately. My whole schedule's been different. The eFootball is kind of it's kind of bland right now, so I've just been kind of taking it easy. Been waking up super early on my David Goggins grind, you know. And by the way, for anyone wondering, I am doing this out of solidarity for Ten Hag. My collar is out like this. I mentioned it at the beginning of the show for anyone who's wondering. This is out of solidarity for my manager, the greatest manager on earth, Ten Hag. And now here is Milo with our dad joke. Please, Milo, take it away.
Why aren't coffins made of glass? Remains to be seen.
Oh no.
Yes.
Oh no. That's a good one though. That's a good one.
That is a good one.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining, man. I will catch you guys later.
Thanks for having us, bro.
I appreciate it.
We're in the outro, you know. You can talk freely style.
I'm glad you said where you'd been, Carl. I was gonna message you and be like, "Are you okay? Is everything cool?"
Yeah, man. I corrected my sleep schedule, and I'm like waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning these days. So like I'm getting close to my bedtime right now.
I sent that
the morning streams coming up.
I sent a message earlier today in our group chat, and you replied, and I was like, "It's like 5 a.m. What's he doing?"
Dude, I went for a run. I'm just eating oatmeal, just getting ready to do some work on the computer. It was just wild.
I've actually considered moving my streams to the morning before work for me, because I mean, especially with FM, the crowd is definitely more morning than it is in my time zone. So
true.
But that means making up at 5 a.m.
We have to grow it in North America. We'll work on that.
That's true. That's true too.
I like it.
Yeah, maybe we will. We'll be able to this year, because with last year's FM coming out so close to the release of FIFA, I think now with a little bit of more buffer, we might get a little bit. How does that impact eFootball? How's that going this year with the release? Is it going to help eFootball's content, or is it going to slow things down for you?
What do you mean?
Like the release of FIFA.
The release of FIFA? Oh, FIFA always dominates eFootball. Always.
Well, yeah, but is it gonna push eFootball to release more content for you, or is it gonna slow down now? Because
I doubt it. I don't think they're gonna do much, man. That's the thing. That's the depressing part about eFootball, is like you don't really see a vision, right? So it's like hard to really stay motivated. You know.
Right now, put out a roadmap.
It's like a dead wave, you know. It's like, you know how you pump the wave.
Roadmap.
Okay.
It's supposed to be a roadmap. I'd call it more of a, I don't know, what would you call it?
Remember when you used to have to look up instructions on the internet and print them out?
Yeah.
This is the wrap-up show after dark, guys. By the way.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, we're like
right now. Ronaldinho money and